as filmmakers, we're trained in this very, very sort of archaic idea is that the only way you can make money is getting a job as a PA, working as a crew person, getting hired as a director, or joining a union. These are very, very good ideas. These are things that can work out. These are successful, proven track record things. But what's also hard about them is that they can be very stifling. They can be very hard to acquire a job like this, and they can be very demanding jobs for very little amount of pay. And in this video, I wanted to dispel that idea by giving you a couple other ways that you can make money right now as a filmmaker, build an audience, and grow your brand itself. So for me, the only way that I know how to make money doing filmmaking is through the internet. A lot of people, I think, take YouTube, Patreon, and all this other stuff for granted and kind of treat it like a joke that like, oh, you can make some money, but you have to have 1 million followers in order to make enough money to live on. And I think that you do need to have a lot of followers in order to make a full living on it. But I think that filmmaking can definitely be a very strong supplemental income if you use it through YouTube or Patreon or any of these platforms. And I'm just going to break down kind of my experience with that and how I've recouped the budgets on most of my projects and how I've made a little bit of side cash as well. The first one I'll be talking about is Patreon. Basically, I started a Patreon when I kind of was getting serious in relaunching this channel back in 2019. And the idea was make a Patreon, tag it along with my YouTube, make YouTube videos, promote the Patreon, make money. And that's worked out pretty well. I've raised a couple grand just doing this since 2019. And again, obviously side income. But I also rarely, if ever, promote my Patreon. It's actually something so under promoted that I think most of my subscribers aren't even aware that I have a Patreon. I actually just dropped a full cut of The Long Con with extra deleted scenes, one of my feature films, and also another different cut of Chlorine that's also on my Patreon that is completely exclusive for patrons. And with the fact that I've under promoted this, I've still made a sizable amount of income considering the amount of work that I've put into the Patreon, promoting it on my website. And that is definitely a strong means to support yourself as an independent creator if you really want to get people to rally behind you, give you a few bucks. If you have, a couple thousand followers, this can be a very, very decent way to make a good amount of money in a very small, quick, and effective time that can also be very rewarding for your audience. Another really fantastic way that I'm very aware of is YouTube. And YouTube has only really started since last year, sort of like the beginning to middle of last year is when I got officially became a YouTube partner. And that's garnered close to a couple $100 on that channel. So between that and the Patreon, it's definitely equaled enough that it's a sizable amount of money that I would be interested in pursuing it further, especially with my channel growing and me putting out more and more videos. What's awesome about YouTube is you can put all your films, videos, and behind the scenes content, and once you have that threshold of amount of subscribers, you're now making basically money on every video that is able to be making money on it. So you can not only make money off a film, let's say you're putting a 90-minute film on YouTube, you're probably going to make a lot more money on that, but you can also monetize every small video you do in promotion for that. So if you make a video promoting and talking about a specific aspect, you are now not only monetizing the film, but also monetizing the behind the scenes content. And this is something that really isn't done on Amazon or Tubi because they're only promoting the film. So you can only make the money off the film itself. And I think YouTube offers a very unique platform for people who have the audience and have the views. In order to get that, they can actually promote that on their YouTube channel. And potentially you can make more money if they are very, very motivated to make a ton of videos and talk about your film and maybe garner a big audience doing that. And one of the other ways that I've heard, I know a lot of other people do this, is shooting like clips, video clips, and then monetizing that by putting it on a website for B-roll or just for clips for videos. That is something I've never really tried myself, but I do know a few personal friends who have done something similar to that, and there is definitely success in that means. And these are just 3 ways that I feel like you as a creator can tackle this sort of digital filmmaking and making money. I don't think these are replacements necessarily if you don't have the audience for getting a job or working in the industry, but these are definitely healthy supplements that can allow yourself to kind of give yourself options. You don't have to be tied down to, let's say, a PA job. If you have something in the background that's making you a couple grand, you might be able to take different jobs at different places and allow yourself a little bit more creative freedom. And I think that's the thing about YouTube, is creative freedom. And my goal going forward is to put up a high enough volume of films, 20, 30, 40 films on this YouTube channel, that I can monetize all of these, and the stream coming from that will be enough to supplement the majority of my income, and I can start doing YouTube 100% full time. Another thing I think a lot of people do is making assets, quick tips in videos, like here is like my LUT pack. Here's a LUT pack, people buy it because they want your look. Those are another thing that I haven't even tackled yet, but I will probably tackle in the future at some point. And I think that everyone kind of needs to find what is successful for them. And for me, it's YouTube and it's Patreon, and it's just trying to figure out how you can market to your audience, but also be true to your audience and not like sort of betray them. And I think with YouTube, it's the least harmful marketing because you're literally just letting them watch the videos. And the Patreon is voluntary, and it's something that the viewers themselves can enjoy and indulge in that. And if they don't like it, they don't have to be a part of it at all. Thanks again for checking out this video. I have 2 other videos, one about improv feature filmmaking, another one about how to be a good filmmaker, and some practical advice. Check those 2 out. I'll be back very, very soon, or Joel will, and we'll be making another video. So peace out and subscribe.